Good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Mike. I work at Clearly So, which is a corporate finance advisory firm helping businesses with an impact raise capital. My focus is early stage business, so the smaller ones, similar to Mustard Seed, kind of that are raising angel capital. So before we kick things off, I just want to give you a few numbers. So last year in the UK, there were about 4,500 angels who invested about £65 million of capital into early stage businesses. So I want to ask a question, actually. So does anyone have a sense of what percentage of those investors, of those 4,500 angel investors, were impact investors? Shout out a number. 10? 10? Everyone's agreed? 2. 1. 1. Who said 100? Okay, challenging. So, yes, 100%. This is true. It depends on your definition of impact. But the reality is that every single one of those investments have some level of impact, be it positive impact or be it negative impact, right? So, today people have really been talking about risk and return, so the two-dimensional kind of investment landscape. But now investors and stakeholders are looking at the third dimension, which is impact. So so every investor is an impact investor. You deserve, are there any extra sandwiches? A few. So moving on a little bit, is anyone familiar with the recent reports of the G8 Social Impact Investment Task Force? So great, so chaired kind of by Ronnie Cohen and a few of the leading minds in social investment. And I won't talk about it now, but what I will say is, for those of you who are interested in impact investment and the way that it's moving, do take a read of this report. So kind of really one interesting, I think, line from it is moving from kind of Adam Smith's invisible hand, okay? And they talk about the invisible heart of markets. And it's really interesting because this, again, really does touch on that third dimension. And as all of the ventures that we'll see pitching today, and a lot of these new investors entering this space, we'll see that a lot of them are interested in this invisible heart, and these are starting to move markets. So a few kind of key things that we're seeing right now. So there's new social investment tax relief. So this is the world's first ever tax relief that's applicable for social investment. So there are lots of kind of rules and regulations around it. It just received royal assent this summer, and no investments have completed to date. There are some in the pipeline, and there's some plans actually for those to complete. But in addition to kind of specific social investment tax relief, and tax relief for these types of impact investments, there are other tax reliefs available. There are other kind of support systems in the ecosystem, so accelerators, lots of funding from Cabinet Office. And we're seeing lots of social enterprises kind of raise up and be created. So this is good, but at the same time, this can create lots of challenges because it's getting harder and harder to identify the real good ones, okay? So one thing that Alex and Henry have done is they've reviewed a lot of these applications, and what we've selected for you, we have 15 ventures here, but so WeVolver, I don't believe is pitching, so we'll be looking at WeVolver pitching another time. So just to quickly move on, I want to just leave you guys with a line from Peter Drucker. So Peter says that the best way to predict the future is to create it. So right now we're going to hand over to these entrepreneurs who are really kind of predicting and creating the future. They'll each have 2.5 minutes to pitch, and then we'll have a few questions from Alex and Harry, and then we'll finish there. Okay?
Hey everyone, just 1 second. So.
is Stan. I'm the co-founder of GiveVision. And I'm really excited to talk to you today about the startup that we have here and what we do. At GiveVision, we develop accessibility software for blind people to increase their independence. And just to start with, why independence for blind people is such an issue. Imagine the stuff that we do every day, catching a train, taking a bus, commuting to work, shopping, things that we take for granted, is an incredible struggle for blind people. And a lot of them cannot do it independently. And it's playing an important role in their life, because if they cannot do that, the impact of this to their lives is just phenomenal. And a lot of times they're left behind. Look at this. Majority of blind people are not in employment. Very few of them finish university or school. Half are poor or near poor. Why is that? Well, because since we have guide dogs and white gates, we haven't really had a big breakthrough in accessibility technology that would help blind people interact with the world around them. We have some digital readers and accessibility tools for online, but that doesn't really cut it, does it? What's exciting about today is that we have so much wearable technology out there, and camera technology is getting so small that we have capability now, and this is what we do at GiveVision, to develop technologies to act just like an intelligent assistant that can analyze stuff around you and process the images and tell you what you can see, even if you don't have eyes. Let me show you how it works. Well, this is what a sighted person would see on a busy street in London. And this is what a blind person would see. But if I put this device on, this is Google Glass, and I'm sure many people heard about it. I can take a picture, so I'll tap, I'll take a picture, and it'll start to process stuff. And I can talk to my Google Glass and say, okay, so where's the nearest bus stop? Where's the nearest entrance to the shop or a pedestrian crossing? And it will show it to you, talking to my ear and tell me where I can find these things. It can recognize text. So in the Oxford Circus, I can find maybe a specific shop, tube station, read any labels, the bus numbers, street names, anything really. Imagine the possibilities that it unlocks for people that don't have any vision. So this is what we do, and this is what GiveVision does. And our vision is to really make sure that our technology can unlock more independence for blind people and make sure that blindness will not define who they are. And since the last 4 months we started working on this project, we have developed a digital prototype. We have met with Google X guys, of course, conducted user trials, and we built a strong team. 2 of our programmers, we see here, Arthur and Jonathan, are completely blind. Now, we're looking to start as soon as possible because, we're very, very close to launching the product, and it'll be very simple. Blind people will get the box of Google Glass with our software already on it, put on and start working. Now, and the reason we would like to start in Britain, and that's really important, is because a lot of people in EU and Britain can get this technology free of charge. We can get this tech into their hands very, very soon. It will not cost them a penny because government will pay for it. We're looking to launch in September 2015, and we're looking for £200,000 investment to get technology to complete the product, launch it, and have enough working capital to work to profitability. I'll be happy to take some questions. Thank you.
I wonder if there's a personal story behind this idea, where it came from.
It's to be quite honest, we started off with an idea to develop a face recognition product, and it was a personal story. I knew some people who suffer from dementia. So if you watch The Notebook, the movie with raise your hands if you watch The Notebook. That's quite relevant. Okay, so it's how painful it is when you can't recognize your loved ones, your family, and your grandchildren, and your husband. So we thought if we could use Google Glass to really kind of tell you who this is. This is your husband and stuff. Without the really cool. So we started off, and then we kind of drifted towards the blind market. And when we did user research, they told us we don't need face recognition. We need to know, we need to recognize text. We need to recognize objects. I want to go and shop independently. So it's kind of transformed. Plus, the Google were not too happy when we talked to them about face recognition. So, there we go.
Yes. One other question for you.
Yeah. Is how special is this tech, right? Because a lot of people doing a lot of work on Google Glass. I think we mentioned earlier, I did an Imperial hackathon where they spent 24 hours just solving Google Glass software issues. To what extent can you actually stay ahead of the game with this? Is this really going to be just yours? What's sort of the commercial edge here, right? So how do you monetize this and stay ahead of everyone else over time?
It's a good question. Well, from our conversations that we had with Google X guys, and they know a lot of what's going on in the space. Well, they told us because of specific reasons with technology right now, because there's no, for example, autofocus on the camera. Very few people do anything to do with images recognition. There's some augmented reality, but in terms of recognition, there's very few things. So we had some advances in there. And also, Google Glass isn't accessible for blind people at all. So for us to get this launched, we'll have to rewrite the operational system. We're going to be releasing our own version of Android OS for Google Glass. And again, this is something that's unique that we do. Because blind people cannot access Google Glass, we have a specific platform. And I think when we release the product, we can have more and more third-party developers develop for our OS. With the key features that, recognizing objects, text, stuff, we will be kind of uniquely ours. And the fact that we have good relationships already with major charities in the UK, for example, to distribute this technology, I think we'll be first in the market, and that'll be kind of our edge. But again, I don't want it to be really too competitive, because the more people working on this, helping there's 300 million blind people around the world. I mean, the market's so huge. If I'm on my own on this one, I don't think we'll be able to cover it in the next 10 years. So in a way, the market's so big and so underserved and so hungry for this, even if there will be other technologies similar to this, I think we're still going to be, from a financial point of view, from a business point of view, pretty good.